Alright, enough procrastinating. I've had this in the backlog for like a month and a half and never got around to editing it, but holy, what a run. So 10 quota is an extremely contested category, so I am like absolutely baffled I got this through. Like, you'll see, the run is kind of insane, as you would expect from a world record. But it starts off with me on Vow, and I get the beehive on the back of the ship. It's like fastest to get it on, but the bee doesn't attach, so I wind up losing like a little bit of time to like going inside the ship to like, obviously not die to the bee. I get two really close to the ship, and I spend a little bit of time looking for the third. I do think this could be, faster if I like knew where the third hive was, but that's okay. So honestly, really good start. After getting the third hive on the ship, I route to Assurance, and unfortunately it's Mansion, which has an extremely low chance to be Mansion, and on version 40 Mansion is extremely bad. All the items are pretty spread out and it's really hard to get any loot on it. Fortunately I get a bottle and a bell, so turned out okay. Whenever I get next to the ship, though, I see that there's a beehive, so beehives are, pretty good, so we'll take that. It turns a very bad day into a much better one. Our first quota of the run is a 221, which is pretty low, so that's minus 15 from the average. Our first day of quota 2, however, is pretty bad. We only wind up getting a bottle. Fortunately, on day 2 of quota 2, we wind up finding 2 beehives in front of our ship as well, which the bee luck is currently crazy right now. All of the bees have been pretty good value and all really close to the ship. Unfortunately, during this day, there was a worm, so I had to take a pretty roundabout way to bait the worm away from the beehive before actually committing to grab it, but it was okay. Not too much time loss here. That day we wind up getting almost $400, which for Assurance is absolutely insane. And similarly to quota 1, we're going to sell early after day 2, just to speed up the run a little bit. For our quota 3 roll, we get 344, which is keeping about that same minus 15 to minus 20 range we had from our first roll, which is pretty nice. But on our first day going in, we get an immediate turret. Thankfully, it's easy enough to avoid, so not a huge issue. While juggling back to the ship, however, we've managed to spot another beehive next to the ship. It's getting absolutely ridiculous at this point. With all the bees we currently have, I'd actually decide to start skipping days, and we get another beehive right next to the ship. It's like, I don't know, like, it's just crazy. But this one is a minimum roll. It's only $50, so I can say it was bad, even though like all the other ones were good. At this point, we roll a 516, which is actually just about average. Average is 517, so we pretty much lost our low roll, which doesn't really surprise me too much. I do decide to skip a day because I have a lot of money. If we get one more beehive, we would have enough for the rest. Not wanting to risk a flooded day 3, I decide to go in on day 2 to get the little bit of money we need for our sell. On day 3, however, we wind up getting a jet sail, which is pretty cool. The route I'm using is a 4 quota route, so jet sail isn't that important. It saves around $100 no matter like how good the jet sail is, so it's only a slight time save. Currently, the run has beehives and low quota rolls, and that's about it. And unfortunately, we just lost our quota rolls because now we are above average, which is quite unfortunate. Thankfully, we're heading into Titan though, and pretty much everything comes down to Titan in these runs. A majority of the run is spent on Titan. It's where we get the fastest loot, so if Titans are good, we can thankfully recover. Unfortunately, our day 1 is pretty bad, and our day 2 is not much better. To make matters worse, I wind up getting turned around while looting the big loot room, and I lose around 15 seconds to not knowing exactly where I should go at the time. As well, this is the first real enemy we see of the run. A ghost girl spawns, and whenever she is just spawned, she's really no danger even if you walk directly at her, so not a huge issue there. We have a really slow final day, but we do wind up collecting $703, so it was alright. If it was faster, it would be a lot better, but that's okay. Heading to the company, we have a pretty good sell, only $4 over, and our quota is now 988, still staying above. Heading into Quota 6, we get our first sighting of the Bracken. Thankfully he's not too much of an issue though, and we can get out without too much issue. The pace of the days is also starting to pick up, which is pretty nice. Getting almost 700 by 1 p.m. Day 2 of Quota 6 winds up becoming the best day of the run so far. We get $988 by around 1:30 lever pull time. And Day 3 isn't too good, but we wind up not spending a lot of time, so it's actually pretty fast and not too bad on the pace. At this point right now, if you told me that this run was going to world record, I would not believe you. This is slower than my PB, it has less money than my PB, and my PB is around 3 to 4 minutes slower than world record. So, let's change that. An 1164 quota roll. Normally, we consider an average quota roll to be a 0.5 roll. That was a 0.04 roll at one of the best parts in the run to get it. The fact that we get that roll is absolutely crazy, but we still have a lot to do. I need to average almost 500 over the rest of the run to complete, and Quota 7 is not really helping. On day 1 I get 222, day 2 I get 637, and on day 3 again it's a sub 300 with 273. These days are not good enough. We did get to spot the ghost girl again, which was kind of amusing, and I did not feel like waiting, so I just charge into death, but yeah, she doesn't care if it's the first time. The company must stay happy. Heading into Quota 8, we get another low roll, this time a 0.27, bringing our quota to a 1477. A really low quota roll, but we still need almost 500 a day. It's gonna be tough. Thankfully, Quota 8 was the best quota I had over the entire run. On day 1, we managed to get 811 by around noon. Absolutely insane. On day 2, we did encounter a coil, but thankfully, if you just hop on a railing, he doesn't know how to hit you, so that's pretty cool. Even with the bad coil and fire exit, we still managed to get 632 by just before 11:30. Also an insane day. And on the last day, I get to use a little bit of a lesser known tech. People know it and use it, but I thought I'd just showcase it here. You just jump on the railing and then use the fire exit directly rather than jumping to the platform. Nice lamp. But day 3 was also insane. We got 825 by around 1:30, so really good pace on all 3 days. For Quota 9, we wind up slightly up-rolling to 2005, which is a 0.56 roll, if you care about that. But on day 1, we wind up getting a Jester and Fire Exit. It did cause me a little bit of time loss, but I was able to get around it eventually, so not a huge issue. The money I got in this quota was worse, but the pace is still staying high, so that's okay. Our first day, we got a 448. Day 2 is unfortunately eclipsed. I have played eclipses in the past, however, I have not played any of them while on world record pace, so I decided to be responsible and just grab 3 items and leave. You can drop items down if there's no giant. It's pretty reasonable to get them actually, and yeah, I decided to play the safer option and just take 3, only getting 192. But again, because of how fast it is, it's actually really good pace. For the final day, we only get 344. Looked around for a while, so not as fast, but that's okay. For the last quota of the run, we wind up getting a 2640. That means we need a little less than 500 a day, which is still a lot. Unfortunately, we only get $237 on day 1. That means heading into day 2, we need to average almost 600 a day, which is not a great feeling. Fortunately though, we wind up finding the most insane dead end in Maine that I think I have ever seen. We get 11 items from one dead end, which helps tremendously, giving us 1,025 that day. And so, heading into the last day, we need 135. This is pretty tragic. I check every way in Maine, except for, the maze, because the maze is slow. And I find 2 toy cubes. I head to fire, and after looking around for quite literally 30 seconds to try and find some items, I find a single locked door that leads to a loot room that has items in it, and a single plastic fish. So we still need 1 item, and I only have maze to explore. So I jump over the gap to go into progress. By the way, this gap is terrible. There's a pipe blocking like half of the beam, so it's pretty annoying. And as soon as I get over across the gap, there is a coil head just on the other side waiting for me. After playing around and like trying to find anything with this coil head on me, I decide it's better just to go main. And whenever I go in main, I find a perfume bottle like 2 feet into progress, which is unfortunate. If I would have got that instantly, it would have saved like easily over a minute. It's kind of insane. So the last day threw really hard for me, which is unfortunate, but it's just how the game goes. But thankfully we have enough and we head to the company to sell. Unfortunately, this is where I had one other major time loss in the run. I lose around 10 seconds to just not ringing the bell. So, unfortunate. Overall, could have gained quite a lot of time on this run between my major time losses and, that final day only needing 1 more item and just cannot find anything for a solid minute. But that's just the game. After putting the rest of the items on and pulling the lever, I just wait until we sell everything we have on ship, 2684, and we wait to see what the final time is. This run was kind of insane. You can see a lot of people were there live. If you want to see it, go check out my Twitch. And yeah, our final time is a 1:37:31. Absolutely insane. If you're curious, here is my spreadsheet. So you can see all the days I had and what I got during them. And something I did after the fact was I wanted to actually check the pace of the run. So I made a little thing where I can kind of determine how good the run is, each day of the run is. So to do that, all I did was just a simple calculation. I took all the scrap I earned on each day, and then I just divided it by how long it took me to get those items. And so here's the final chart. You can see Quota 8 and Quota 9 are kind of insane. Quota 10 had the best day overall in terms of pace, which that was the day we had 11 items in a dead end, so that does not surprise me at all. But yeah, it was a pretty cool run, and I am extremely happy with it. Thanks for watching. I have a lot of stuff in the backlog that I'm trying to get through, so there will be a few more videos here in the near future. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.